Hey guys, and welcome to Growing Gratitude. It is I, Becca Lori Hector, here, and I am here with my attempt to kind of publicly, on a very weekly basis, try to talk about the things in my life that I'm grateful for, even if I'm having a really, really crappy week. The hope is that if I grow the gratitude in my life, it will grow a lot of other things in my life that I need, including my self esteem and a few other things along with that. And what I'm hoping is that if you join me on a weekly basis, you guys will find that the gratitude is growing in your life. And I hope you'll pick up the habit of, on a weekly basis, sort of saying what you're grateful for. So that's what I'm here for today. Now, you guys who join me regularly can already tell that this is not the usual episode of gratitude. First of all, it's not a live stream. I know. So here's the deal, you guys. I care about one thing over everything else. It is my greatest priority, and I hope one day it will be your greatest priority, and that is self-care. I have been struggling this week or so since the time change. First of all, I've been carrying a lot of guilt that I forgot that the time change isn't universal, and that, which is really ignorant, and that some people have missed out on some of the live stuff that I do, including the course, because I forgot to remind people that the time changes and that the time changes here, and so it might be a different time where you are and that kind of thing. So I've been feeling sort of crappy about that. We had that really big snowstorm last week, you guys, and it was beautiful and amazing. And we didn't lose power, which was the thing that everybody was worried about most. And that didn't happen. Nowhere in Colorado, nobody lost power over the storm, which was great. And that part was fantastic. But of course, the cleanup is never fantastic. And what ended up happening is that when they were cleaning up the parking lot where we usually park the truck, they decided to pile all the snow into our spot. So we had to call it for this week. So we did no food truck this week. And that was really frustrating on top of all the things that we're dealing with. It was okay. I didn't mind having the rest because, again, the daylight savings time thing had really been messing with me. It's messed with my appetite a little bit. It's also messed with my sleep, like really hardcore this time around. And I'm not sure why. So, like, I've been having trouble getting up in the morning. And so what I've started to do is I'm trying to get back to the time I want to get up by slowly moving back to it. And so that is making getting up tomorrow, or for me, it's Saturday right now, getting up for Sunday morning for gratitude a little bit difficult for me this week. I didn't want to not do it because it's really important for me to do. It's a really important check-in for me. So I want to do it, but at the same time, I don't want to have to push myself when I'm already feeling kind of spoonless to get up really early in the morning to do gratitude, right? And I really want, especially because I only have 2 days of the week, that one day off officially, which is Sundays. And then the other thing is that there's only 2 days of the week I really get a chance to write in any significant way, and that's Sunday and Monday. And I have a lot of things in here that need to get out there that are also driving me a little bit crazy inside. So I had kind of a rough week all around with my own mental health and that kind of stuff, and just trying to get through this week. It was a little bit of a tough week. And not much went on because we had this huge snowstorm, which, by the way, you guys, the next snowstorm is coming in tonight and it's for the next 24 hours. We're under a storm watch again. So hopefully it will be a pretty one and not quite as big as the last one. But yeah, so it's been interesting, this whole thing, and I haven't really had much that I was doing. And when you're not actively out there, finding those gratitudes is a little bit more difficult, right? When you're not actively out doing the living, finding those gratitudes is a little bit more complicated. But I have them. I still have them. And despite not being able to do them live with you, I have set this. I am going to set this as soon as I'm finished recording it to premiere at the time that our live stream usually goes on. And hopefully enough of you will catch it just because you're usually coming for the live stream. But I don't know. I hope it'll work out. I'm just too tired to really worry about it too much. So I'm going to do this instead. So here we are, kind of where I'm at in life right now. My hair is obviously, I am overdue for a haircut, by the way. I am not intentionally growing it long. I'm now out of the phase of wanting to grow it long anymore. I'm over it. I've decided that it's going to be short for the rest of my life. I think I spent enough time with long hair. But anyway, but Miss May hurt herself. She fell and she hurt her shoulder, and so she has been out. And so, being the loyal autistic person that I am, and I especially love her, that I am waiting until she comes back. So she said probably another couple weeks. And look, it's not a hair emergency. The only people that see me most of the time are you guys. So yeah, so I'm waiting for her to come back. Anyway, so the hair's up because it's a mess. And you know, when it gets like your haircut itself kind of grows out and it gets all unruly, that's how I'm at right now. I'm in an unruly phase. But with that, let us at least do the few gratitudes that I've managed to keep track of this week, even though there weren't that many, because I actually just didn't do that much this week. The one really big thing that I did do that I am actually grateful for was to write the piece that we'd all been kind of working on together on identifying toxic people as an autistic person. Still no word back on that. I sent it in to Vox to see if they'll publish it sort of on a bigger platform. If not, it will get published somewhere. But that one I'm grateful for because it's been a hot bit since I've been able to sit down and concentrate and write like a while, right? In any kind of real significant way. And I have another 3 pieces in here that have to get out here. But I'm grateful that I was able to push through and get myself writing again. Because just like anything else we do, the longer I'm away from writing, the harder it is to get the movement and out of the inertia and start the writing again. So I'm really grateful that I did do that piece. I think I was like, oh, I have to at least do that one. It's mostly written because we worked on it together and that whole deal. And so I did do that. So I'm really grateful this week to have been able to write and finish and send in something for writing wise, that kind of thing. And I'm hoping with the next 2 days, with Sunday and Monday for me, that I'll be able to get another, those other 3 done. I hope. We'll see. We'll see how much spoonage I have. And now we'll go to the list for the rest of the gratitudes. What else have I got for you guys? Let's see. Oh my goodness. Okay. So here's the deal. I had this whole deal with my meds and like a big situation with like Social Security and getting my drug coverage and all of this stuff. And Antonio found this program here in Colorado and I've switched over to it, but the drug coverage hasn't taken over yet and all of these kind of things. And one of the things that I've been trying to do with my new doctor is to try to lower the dosage of my antidepressant that I take. And while a lot of antidepressants don't have side effects necessarily, you can just kind of stop taking them. The one that I'm on is pretty heavy duty guy. And so I have to do it with medical supervision and I have to go down in doses. So in the meantime, we're trying to get all my pills right and get it all in. And, you know, whenever you're with a new doctor, that never goes right. There's always something. And this something was about how she called in the dosage of my medication and they wanted to charge me $600 for this medication. And yeah, that wasn't happening. And so I was trying to figure out what to do because my new coverage, which will cover this medicine, doesn't begin until April 1st. And so here I am out of the medication. I have 2 weeks to go, right, before the new drug plan comes into effect. So I ended up having this really good idea about how to handle it and what I wanted to do. And I ended up figuring out that one of my old refills was still on the computer, and for that I could pay $15 and I could use that to create the correct dosage. So I am really grateful for my pharmacist and for my husband and also my new doctor and their patience with me in trying to get this all done and to kind of get the medication at a price that I can afford. So I'm grateful for that because it really feels crappy to not take it. So on the story of medication, so while we're there on the story, and while I'm telling you how spoonless I have sort of been towards the end of this week, my next gratitude is general gratitude for not being sick. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I do the same routine every morning when I wake up, but like I told you guys, I've been having a lot of trouble getting up in the morning and kind of getting out of bed and getting moving. And that's already a difficult time for my brain, but it's been made worse by this daylight savings thing. And so yesterday, in that whole haze of getting up, and I was late and I was getting up late and this whole thing, I forgot to take my medication. And I usually like roll out of bed, put on my slippers, take my medication, and go brush my teeth and take care of the cats and all that stuff, right? Okay, well, I don't know what I did and in what order I did it that I forgot, but I didn't take my medication. But it wasn't one of those things where I realized that I didn't take my medication. I just had gone about it. So now Antonio and I are going about our day, and we have some errands to run and things like that. And I was supposed to be, we were doing a few things. And one of them was eventually to get to the pharmacy and pick up this new medication, right? The one I can afford. And we get there and the line is so long. And now I'm feeling like, no, I don't even just feel like depressed. Now I'm starting to feel like sick. Like my throat's starting to hurt. My ears are starting to itch. And like my body was starting to ache. And I was like, this is really weird. So, the line was really long. And I just said to Antonio, I can't stand in line right now. I need to come back tomorrow. Like I can't handle it right now. And so we left and we drove home and whatnot. And we got home and I was like, oh, I really don't feel good. I'm going to go down and take a nap. And I went downstairs into our bedroom and I tried to take a nap and I couldn't get comfortable and I couldn't get a nap. And I was like, oh no, I'm getting sick. I'm like for real getting sick. I hope it's not COVID, blah, blah, blah. And I'm doing that whole thing. And then I go to do my night errands, which includes taking my nighttime medication. And when I go to take my nighttime medication, I look and see that ba-boom, I did not take my morning medication. And you know how I just told you guys that if you don't go off solely this medication, that you get side effects to it? Guess what those side effects are? It feels like you have the flu. Your body aches. You get sometimes a sore throat and things like that. And you generally feel flu-y. Okay? So why it didn't occur to me that the reason I was not feeling good, maybe I forgot to take my medication, I have no idea. Instead, I spent the whole entire day feeling horrible until I went and saw my mistake. So what I needed to do was to turn that into a gratitude. And I got to tell you, when I figured out how to turn it into a gratitude, I am giant grateful. And it made the list like this, okay? I was so pissed that I wasted an entire day off, an entire day of freedom, right? Feeling sick. And I wasn't even sick. And I could have done something about it. And if I just took the pill, I wouldn't have felt sick. And I was so mad at myself and so mad at myself. And then I said, oh my God, but at least I'm not sick, right? I'm taking the pill and then I'll feel better and I'll catch up tomorrow and it'll all reset itself and that'll be fine. But I'm not sick. It's not actually me getting sick and I don't have COVID. And I just had this moment of gratitude. Like the last thing I could handle right now is getting sick. Like I don't need to get sick right now. Everything else, I need to be an active part of building my life right now. We're in that kind of place. And so I really just was like, I can't take it if I get sick right now. And then if it's COVID and just, I couldn't. And so I'm really and truly, truly grateful that all I did was forget to take my medicine and that I'm not actually sick and that today I feel fine, which is a relief. And I went today and I got the medicine and, now everything's fine. But, sometimes we make mistakes and the tendency is to want to beat yourself up about it and just be mad about yourself. And especially when it's something like that, that's totally on you, right? Totally your own mistake. Obviously your error. No one else is involved. I do a lot of beating up of myself. And I noticed that's what I started to do. I was really feeling shitty about wasting the whole day and all of this stuff. And it just really took me a moment to reset and realize that, but it wasn't COVID and it's not COVID and I'm not sick and it was just a medication error. And we all make mistakes and it's not the end of the world. And nobody died from my silly mistake, right? And so really needing to use that gratitude piece to remind myself to stop the negative self-talk, you guys. So when I talk about gratitude, having an important place in your life, it's not just for the sake of being a grateful person. It's not just because it sends positivity out into the world. It's because it reminds us all the other ways we are betraying ourselves, like negative self-talk, right? It reminds us of all the times we're stealing our own joy by not celebrating the good things in our life. And so it's really important that you guys, I think, understand why I talk about the dorky attitude of gratitude all the time. Because in that moment, I was like, oh, I shouldn't be a negative Nancy. Is there a silver lining? There must be a gratitude in here somewhere. And the gratitude piece actually helped me to stop the negative self-talk, which was really fantastic. So that's another thing that I'm grateful for. Let's see. I know I've got one more. And I'm going to end it on a good one. I've got one more for you guys. And that is that today, which for you guys is yesterday, is Fiona's 1 year anniversary of rehoming. That's right. My big giant girl has been in my house now for a year straight. And I feel like she was meant to be here from the beginning. I feel like our neighbors took her home because they knew I wouldn't have the patience to potty train. But I love her so very much. And I really thought our lives were full and we were done and our crew was built, our pack. And then she's just added this other piece to it that I didn't know that we were missing. It's sort of this really gentle piece. And she's got a really special relationship with everybody in the house. All the cats, she has a different relationship with the cats and she's so gentle with them. I mean, they sleep near her, they walk over her, all kinds of stuff. And they really trust her. And the dogs, I mean, Walter loves her because he's always loved big dogs. He was always the biggest in the house. And now he's not. And he loves her. And he's really affectionate with her, which he's not with Gus, definitely. And only sometimes with Penny. And I think, her and Gussie they're inseparable. They are playing tug almost 24/7. They love to play with each other. Sometimes they get rough, but they are they should have been litter mates. They play constantly. And they are only 6 months apart. So that really is a cute, really almost like they're twins or from the same litter kind of relationship. And then her relationship with Miss Penny is pretty sweet because Penny doesn't usually like other dogs, let alone other female dogs. And so watching her with Fiona is really special. Fiona was always submissive to her, even though Penny is a quarter her size. And she was always very respectful of her and her space. And in that time, Penny has learned to trust her. And now they clean each other. And they tag team on Gus together. And they do all kinds of fun things together. And she's a fun girl to have around. And so, I'm really grateful for being chosen to have her rehome to us. And then for us taking the risk and being brave and afraid at the same time and saying, yes, we can take on a fourth giant dog. But I love her so much. And she fills my life with so much joy. And I'm really, really grateful for her. So yay for Fiona being home for a year and that we get to spend the rest of her life with us. So I'm excited for that. Yay. And that's it. That's my big happy gratitudes for the week. It's been a tough one, but we all get through the tough ones. So if you had a tough week this week, maybe sitting and doing your gratitude for a little bit, even if you just write them down real fast, will be a help to get you the motivation and inspiration that you need for next week, to get into next week, right? However it works for you, but it will definitely work. Well, that's it for me today. I am grateful for the opportunity to be able to upload this and sleep in tomorrow. So I thank you for your patience with me as I adjust to the change in time. And I will see you guys on Tuesday for Being Back Alive, of course. And then I'll see you next Sunday for the next Growing Gratitude. In between there, you will always catch me out and about on the interwebs. And of course, you can reach me directly at info@beccalory.com, or you can go directly to my website, which is Beccalory, LORY.com. You can sign up for the newsletter there, check out my social media, my writing, the Redbubble store, all those fun things. Those links are in the description as well. So please get in touch with me. Let me know what you think. Let me know if gratitudes are working for you. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you out there, you guys. That's it for me. See you soon. Bye.